This is regarding science and Islam to Brother Yusuf. We are a team of 3 or 4 people working on potential energy and electricity while standing in Salah in line, whether we should touch our shoulders or whether we should touch our toes, whether if there is a gap in between the potential energy, the continuity of the electricity goes off. But we have a small doubt within ourselves. Like it is always, whenever there is a new invention in science, our ulamas keep criticizing on it. They recline on their chairs and say it is not to be used. Like a small invention like a TV.
Like what?
Television. The ulamas had told...
Half of the stuff that I do is on television, man. What are you telling me?
Yes, like I have heard ulamas telling that don't keep televisions at home.
Okay.
Like I remember
now,
even...
You're shifting gears. You're shifting from thick issues to halal and haram.
Yeah, that is what... Should we distinguish it?
I love you for the sake of Allah. I want you in the front row tomorrow. But I want you to give me one question and stop, because I'm a little baby. Okay?
Okay then.
You're going to make my job hard. Now, what do you want to ask me?
I wanted to ask you whether these ulamas will give us a chance to distinguish to ourselves for the latest inventions on science.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. You got a real Sheikh of Islam sitting right there. He doesn't want me to say that in front of him. They give him a big head. Listen to this. From a nun, this is called Mushekh in Arabic. Not Sheikh, but just Sheikh in old age.
Okay.
Let me give you a piece of advice from an old person. I'm real happy that Allah made me a Muslim. You cannot imagine the glee in my heart when I see every new person entering into Islam. And I'm real happy when I see the brothers who come to the knowledge, as Sheikh was explaining tonight, step by step, and they realize not just the obligation of the Salat, but the privilege of the Salah. And I'm happy when they come running to get into the first row, to be in the left side, the right side as you're looking, facing it. But to be close in Salah, as the companions were close to each other. To touch the shoulders like they touched the shoulders, so much so, some people even told me they used to rub the material in their clothes from being so close. So I'm very happy when I see brothers do this. And I'm very happy when people come to me and say things like, what about the television? Is it halal, haram? Because it shows they have an honest concern for what they're putting into the minds of their children. But I don't want us to get into the habit, though, of picking on the ones who don't do what we do the way we do it. Because if we do this, we're no better than some of the hypocrites. Because I consider myself not that great at worshiping Allah, but I want to be. But if I look at you and say, brother, your izar is dragging on the ground. And brother, you don't have miswak, it's not long enough. Brother, your lahya is not big enough. It's like I'm going to measure you with a tape measure. What is this? And who the heck am I to come up to people and do that? And when you want to ask about halal and haram, you came to the right guy. Television, is it halal or haram? How many of you know the answer? It's clear. Television is halal as long as you don't turn it on. And when they say, do you have to have a lehya? Not if Allah doesn't grow one on you. Sisters don't have to have one. Huh?
What? All inventions.
There's no, look.
All inventions are done by non-Muslims.
It's real simple,
most of
brother.
them.
It's real simple. Listen to this. This is what I was told when I got to Islam. I love this philosophy. That everything in the whole dunya in front of you is halal to you, unless you find an evidence that makes it haram. Everything in this life is halal unless there's an evidence from the Quran and Sunnah to show it's haram. But everything in ibadah or worship is haram unless you can find an evidence for it in the Quran and the Sunnah. So put it in 2 cases, dunya and ibadah. In the dunya, it's for you, unless Allah said, no way, Jose. And in the ibadah, everything's no way, Jose, except that you find the evidence that you can do it. And that's the difference between bid'ah and ibadah. And I hope I give you a good answer. I hope to see you in the front row tomorrow, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
May I add, Brother Yusuf was not saying that everything that science can do, you accept. No people say that, not even Muslims. There are many people in the West now who are against cloning. Scientists can't do that. But they ask, is this ethical?
Is it what?
Ethical?
Ethical.
Ethical. Ethical. No. So, and I'm sure that the ulama who talk about the television, they don't mean just this instrument. They don't mean the hardware. They are talking about what you see in it. And they have, and you can't say they are wrong all the time. A lot of damage, a lot of has come as a result of television. So if someone says, I don't want to have television in my home, and I know some people who are non-Muslims in the United States who don't have.
That's true.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
One of them.
You were one of them. See? There are so when he talks about science, he's not saying that everything that science can invent you use. Otherwise, you use hydrogen bomb and kill people.
Sheikh, with the statement, so that I'm not going to get misquoted here, what I said is, it's everything in the dunya is halal unless there's evidence against it. There's plenty of evidence in Islam against the programming which is on television today. Plenty of evidence against the programming, but no evidence against the tube itself. Turn it on, but just don't get any shows. In my house today, we have a television set. And it's not just to watch the CDs that I make, which is what I bought it for. But I told my kids, and they're grown. My kids are all, late teens and grown up. I got one 35 years old. I can't really tell them, you're going to do everything I do, but I reason with them. And what we agreed as Mashura in our family, we're not going to watch broadcast television. We will buy or rent the programs we want to observe, and then we have the discretion to stop it if we don't like what it is and send it back. But when you go into broadcast television, you don't know what's coming up next. And it's garbage, which is French for crap. And crap is Texan for not so good.